GM guys, I just thought about this new series, Anecdotes, by the French guy, because I have a ton of fucking anecdotes. I actually have a really weird fucking life with a whole ton of noticeable events, remarkable events that make great stories that often I tell them to people and they don't fucking believe me. Although it's just my life, you know. Sometimes you describe your life to people and they're like, no way, you're fucking lying. That's not possible. And it's just my fucking life, you know. People don't believe me sometimes when I just describe my life. So there's a bunch of anecdotes I have, and I'm going to start by the one that changed me, you know, how I went from the lazy loser to the big guy. When did it happen? What made me click in my brain? So the first anecdote, I was in Italy. Can you see this? If you can't see it, there's I think it's just out of the frame. But I have, let me fucking show you. Let me move the camera a little bit. Check this out. This is my fucking goals. 100K in Ferrari Portofino. Ferrari Portofino, that's very important. The thing is, in this anecdote, I was in Portofino with my Russian friend. And we were just chilling because when I was younger, I went to Portofino with my parents. My parents are now divorced. But when I was a kid from like 5 years old to fucking 12, 13, we went to Portofino basically every year with my parents. So it was basically my summer destination, you know. I was going there all the time. And then when I was, 19, I think, I went there with my Russian friend. Or was it 20 or 21? I don't remember what age I was. Probably 20, because it was when I came back from the UK after university. I think 20. So I went to Portofino with my Russian friend because he had never been there. I think he never went to this region of Italy. He went to Rome, and that's it. So I told him, you have to visit Portofino. It's fucking beautiful. If you don't know what Portofino is, it's basically it wasn't like that back in the day. Nowadays, it's basically a rich little village, like Monaco, you know? Although Portofino is super fucking small. Monaco is a big, it's like a city. But Portofino is a tiny fucking village. It's like a fucking place with restaurants on the side, and that's it. And little houses in the back for 100 meters or so. And so I told my friend, Russian friend, we went on a road trip basically from Paris to my hometown, to Marseille, to Monaco, to Italy, to Portofino, you know? So we went there and for many reasons. First of all, to eat Italian food, because we both are big food lovers, especially Italian food lovers. And that's why I liked to go to Italy so much when I was a kid, because every year I would go to Italy, eat my freshest mozzarella di bufala and burrata and caprese salad, you know? I fucking loved this. This was my favorite thing about Italy, and it still is to this day the tastiest mozzarella di bufala, you know? So we went there during this trip, and so it was a lot of driving and just talking in the car, music, blah, blah, blah. But then when we got to Portofino, so basically, let me give you an impression of how the town looks like. First of all, there's the little place with the boats and stuff, with the restaurants all around the place. And then on the back of the restaurants, there's a road that goes up a little and it goes into mountains, you know? So it's by the side of a cliff, and there's a road to climb the cliff and to visit the fucking place, you know? So we decided to just go walk around Portofino. And on that day, first of all, I was sick. I got sick from, I don't know what. I had a massive headache. But we still did it because we went we came here for like 2 days and we didn't have much time to waste. So I woke up in the morning and I did not want to fucking do this walk in the mountain, to walk up the mountain. And it was a big fucking walk. Once you're up the hill, it's a big fucking hike. So we went on this fucking hike, and I was there, not used to do any of this shit, because at this time I was still a big video games addict, playing League of Legends 8 to 12 hours a day. Or sometimes it was Minecraft, sometimes it was Dofus, another French video game. And I just always, never have been active before that. And it's on this day, when I was walking with my homie, we decided to go on this hike. And 15 minutes in, we didn't even reach the top of the fucking cliff, My Russian friend was at the top of the cliff. He just went before me because he saw me being too slow and he wasn't going to wait for me. So he just walked up, got there, and I was fucking exhausted after a third of the way up. I could not keep going. So we decided, let's do it tomorrow. We did it the next day. The next day I was less sick, but I still took some medicine with opium in it to feel better, to have more energy. And even with this shit, we went on the hike. I was tired halfway up the fucking cliff when my friend was gone. He was gone to do the fucking hike. And I realized on this moment, holy shit, I'm so unfit that I'm not able to even start the hike with my homie. My homie, he's a Russian guy that he always did a little sport here and there, Little tennis, little bike, little walking. He always was a little bit active, so he was fit. Not like super gym level fit, not six pack, not all this shit, but he was fit, he was active. He had an active lifestyle. I was not at all active. So by the time I'm at the middle of the fucking hike or up the way to the mountain, it took 20 minutes, not even. I'm like so exhausted, I can't keep going. So I sit down on the fucking stairs, because there's stairs up the mountain. And I rest for like 10 minutes before I keep going. Then I finally get to the top. Now the hike starts, because once you get to the top, there's 2 hours of walking before you get to the next village. So then we started fucking walking in this fucking hike. And 10, 20 minutes later, there's a nice view. And I have a picture of this one. I'm going to post this one. I'm tired as fuck at this point. And I'm out of breath. I'm all sweating. I tell my homie, I'm fat. Listen. Okay, I get it. I'm fat. All because before this moment, I never really realized that I was fat, It was after, like maybe a month after my fattest point, where I weighed in at 94 kilos. So like 215 pounds or something. So I didn't realize I was fat, but to me, I actually was proud of seeing bigger numbers on the scale. I wanted to see myself at 100 kilos at some point. Although it wasn't muscles, I just thought, yeah, I'm a big guy, I'm heavy, So I wanted to reach 100 kilos. Didn't happen. I stopped at like 94. Actually, I didn't weigh in at my heaviest, but the heaviest I ever weighed was 94 kilos. And when we got to this hike, I was like, holy fuck, I'm fat. I understand now. You're fit. I'm fat. I can't do this. I can't go to this fucking hike. So I was unable on this fucking hike to just do the bare minimum, which was go up to start the fucking hike. You just have to go up the mountain to start the fucking hike. I was unable to get there, and once I got there, I was fucking exhausted, tired, and unable to keep going. 20 minutes later. And so we just kept sitting down resting because I was so fucking tired. And that's the day I realized that I was fat. I was not. Sorry, I'm thinking about how to word this because I keep fucking. I'm very picky on my words, you know. Sometimes I'll just block mid-sentence to find the right words to use. So that's the first time I realized that I was actually a useless piece of human that was not able to move, you know? I wasn't able to do the basic shit. It's not even like. Can you imagine if I had to do it for survival, you know? Let's say there was no food in this village and I had to get to the other village. I would have probably fucking died on the way there without resting because I had to just rest every 20 minutes. I was so fucking tired. And so, yeah, when I realized that was fucking fat, when I came home after this, I actually started taking action to lose weight. I didn't do big things, you know, but I started very simple. By cutting the milk for breakfast, because I used to have 1 liter of milk per day. A half liter for breakfast, half liter for snack in the afternoon. So first thing I did, I stopped the milk for breakfast and I went from 3 Nutella buns to 2. And it was actually a great decision because I started losing weight, like melting away over 6 months. I melted away. Anyway, I told you about this story because before going there, I was proud, I was flexing. I was like, yeah, let's visit Portofino. You know, you don't know Portofino? Let me show you. You know, I know the place. I know this rich place. Don't worry. And in the end, I had never done this hike before. Although I have been in Portofino like maybe 10 times in my life, I had never done this hike that's just basically the only thing to do in Portofino apart from shopping and restaurants, you know? I've never done this hike, but I was ready to flex, you know, when I was there. And then I got fucking humbled because he just went up walking easily at the normal rate as if he was just walking on the street, you know, but he was walking up the hill like this. And I saw him just get further and further away from me while I was exhausted, slow as fuck, and just had to take a break a third of the way up to the start of the fucking hike. I was like, holy shit, I'm actually fat. So that's what it took for me to realize that I was fat. Never before in my life had I wondered, am I fat? I just thought that I was like a taller guy, which is kind of on the heavy side, or heavyweight rather, but I never thought of myself fat. Although I never did exercise, I was just being extremely cocky of thinking I'm heavyweight, although I was just fat. Because all I did was play video games, you know. I never did any fucking form of effort. I did judo when I was like 12. But that's fucking it, you know. I was on my ass playing video games 12 to 16 hours a day at this time. And this fucking hike was the time I realized that I can't be a human like this. I can't be such a weak piece of shit on the planet, you know. Humans were never meant to be so useless. That's what I realized. I was a useless human. Humans are not meant to be so useless. You're actually meant to be able to walk all day long for 7 days to find food if you need. That's what humans are supposed to do. And I was just fucking dying. Yeah, I just want you to think about this, you know? If you've had the realization, maybe you haven't had the realization, but maybe you need this video for me to make you wonder, are you fat right now? Because I was fat and I was denying it. I thought, I'm fine. It wasn't yet the age of, you know, on social media where everyone's fit. It wasn't yet this age. But this happened in like 2021. Actually, it happened with COVID, you know, after the lockdown, everyone was fit. And I think this trip was just before the lockdown. And yeah, there was no social media bullying of people being fit, make you realize that you're not fit. So I was just there, flexing, being cocky. I've always been cocky. But back in the day, I had no reason to be. I was a lazy video game addict, that's it. Like, it's actually cringe how cocky I was, given I was completely useless. You know? So yeah, maybe you need to wonder, are you right now fat? Do you need to do something like this? Maybe, what are you doing this weekend? How about you go on a hike, an easy hike? Maybe you look at the closest village and you walk to this village. Easy shit like this that's going to make you realize how unfit you are as a human. That's what it took for me to have this realization. I talk a lot about heartbreaks, it was because I was getting heartbroken all the time. I was fucking rejected a lot, blah, blah, blah. But all this it just caused depression. It didn't cause the enlightening moment of realizing I'm fat. It's actually the I'm fat moment that made me change my life around, and change my depression. Fix the depression completely, because the depression was like I was ready to keep chasing other girls and keep getting heartbroken again. I've done this from fucking age 12 to this moment, to age 21 or something. I was just chasing, getting rejected, depression. Chasing, getting rejected, depression. I was doing it over and over again, and I was honestly going to keep doing it until I realized, fuck, I'm fat. Then I got into an active lifestyle. I understood discipline. I understood that your body is your mind. And that's something, I've been getting into Shaolin teachings lately. And that's the thing, that in Shaolin, they tell you that you are your body. And you need to stop dissociating yourself from your body. You need to stop being a capitalist human that's brainwashed by the system to think that like everything is happening in your head. And that's something that fat people think all the time, that there's no need to fight. We need peace. There is no need to fight. I don't need to learn how to fight. I don't need to be fit, because society is easy now. It's comfortable. There is no need to fight. And that's exactly what keeps fat people fat and miserable and in depression. While in the Shaolin teachings, they tell you that you are your mind, like your body, sorry. You are 50-50, your body and your mind. It's not 90% mind, because you're stuck in this society that tells you about the politics, tells you about the drama, tells you about the TV shows, the Netflix, the video games. This is all things that are happening in your head. You need to forget all this head shit and understand that you are simply a body that can think about what the body should do. You are 50-50 body and mind. If you are unfit, your mind is shit. Your mind is fucking dying. It is fucking dying. I'm not exaggerating. If your body is unfit, it is dying. Your mind is dying. Enlightenment happens when you understand that you are one with your body. And that's one of the Shaolin teachings, that consciousness starts when you understand that you are the body and you live the present moment. You enjoy the present moment with your senses, with your body, If you just keep thinking with your head about society problems, you will always be worried. You will always stress, because the only real thing in this world is the now. It's today, it's what's happening. What are you doing right now? I'm filming this video because I'm trying to help people. That's what I'm doing now. It's giving me goosebumps, guys. Anyway, that's what you're doing now. But if you think about the problems of, fuck, I have this work to give back on Monday, blah, and I didn't do it, I'm going to get fucked, I'm going to get fired, and then I have this money issue that I can't pay the bills, and I have this problem, blah, blah, blah. If you think of all the problems, society, the things that happen in your head are only like past and future related. It's all about, it's everything else than the now. You need to think about the now much more than the future and the past. And the thing is, on this hike, I was living the now, and the now was telling me that I'm completely unfit. The now was making me experience how fucking miserable I was. If you keep listening to what society tells you and people around you tell you, you're basing yourself on opinions from the future and from the past. From the past and from the judgment of people in the future. You're basing your ideas on, it's fine, society will be so easy, there will be no need to be fit, no need to be able to fight, so I'm not going to do it. You're basing your opinions on delusions, on dreams. That's what. The past is a dream, and the future it does not exist. It does not exist. You only live now. You need to understand what's happening now with your body, right? Yeah, that's what I kind of got lost with this now moment and this Shaolin ideas, but it's actually very related. So yeah, I'm telling you about this because you need to hear that you're probably unfit. Are you unfit? Be honest with yourself. Go challenge yourself. Put yourself under some fucking risk, some challenge, and then see what happens. Are you able to take on a simple fucking challenge? Or are you so unfit that you would actually die if you didn't have the luck of this society? You know, are you an useful human? Or are you a completely useless human? That's it. And with all those anecdotes, what I'm trying to do is wake you up, enlighten you. I'm telling you those past stories to tell you how they affected me and changed me. Maybe you need to change. And if you need help to change, don't hesitate to reach out to me to join my one-on-one program, you know. Or if you just want to join my school community on which I have my course, basically what my one-on-one program is my course plus one-to-one calls with me where we organize your plans, your life change and everything. But most of the data is going to be in the school course. It's video lessons by me. You know, maybe you want those video lessons to learn more about my way of doing things. If so, I'm probably going to put a link in the description, but you can also just DM me on Instagram to ask me questions about it. I'll be happy to answer. I'll be happy to answer your questions and help you out, you know. So press follow on the YouTube every time, and I'll see you soon, you know.